everybody, it's Professor Parish, and English 122, Week 6, that's where we are at. So we have 3 weeks left of class. We have this week, we have Week 7, and then Week 8 will be finals week. So we are in the home stretch. So there's a couple of different things going on this week, and so I want to go over the assignments with you all. There is no reading that you have to do this week. The drama presentation, I did a video over the entire drama presentation in last week's video. So if you've not watched Week 5's video, please make sure to do so because I went over drama in that one. I'm recording this on Sunday, so Week 5 assignments are still due. If you've not submitted Week 5, please make sure to do so. But otherwise, let's talk about Week 6 because there's a really big project that I want to get you guys to start thinking about this week. And we're going to talk about that. So Week 6, if you scroll down, there are 4 assignments due this week. One is the discussion forum, which I will pull up here in a second. One is the drama exam. Your drama papers are due by Sunday, July 19th. And then the final thing is this paper 4 thesis and outline, and we're going to save it for last. So the paper 3 drop box, the drama paper, the drop box is the same as our other 2 drop boxes for poetry and prose. So you should be good there. Everybody's been doing really good on the drop box, so I'm not worried about it. But just make sure that you get that paper submitted by July 19th. The discussion forum, I'll pull up Week 6 here. Mainly Week 6's discussion forum is just a review of our drama terminology since we didn't spend that much time on drama. So I'm asking you which term from Greek plays or Greek tragedies do you think we use or see most often? Why? What about for Shakespeare? What about for American drama? If American dramas were written during Shakespeare or ancient Greece, how would they be different? Explain your answer. And then of the 3 genres, American drama, Shakespeare, and Greek tragedies, which did you like the best and why? So it's a pretty straightforward your opinion discussion forum. So it should be pretty easy for you all to complete for this week. And I'm really curious to see your answers on these questions. So I'm excited to see what you all end up putting down. The drama exam is listed here. Same as our poetry and fiction exams. You only get 1 time to take it. You can save as you go. It's out of 25 points. It's a pretty straightforward exam like what we've been doing. So there's that. And then obviously your drama paper is due the 19th. But let's talk about, I want to spend the rest of the video talking about our final paper because that's kind of the meat and bones of this class at this point. The reason why the thesis statement is going to be due this week in Week 6 is because we only have 3 weeks left, and I want to give you guys as much time to work on this project as possible. So the thesis statement and outline is the exact same as what we've been doing. I will stress this again. Do not submit a draft to this thesis and outline statement. I'm still having students do that, and so I'm assuming they're just not watching this video. But don't. I just want to know your topic, which is your thesis, and then the outline of your points. Just a bare bones skeletal structure, something that can change over time as you work on the paper, but that gives you a focus and a starting point so that you're not just staring at your screen like I often do and wonder what in the world I'm going to type. So that's the idea behind it. But I've pulled up our guidelines for our final paper, and I want to go over them in pretty great detail here. So, step 1, this final project, your final paper, is a culmination of everything we've done in the class so far. So step 1 is deciding which genre of literature you want to focus on. Did you like the prose section? Did you like poetry? Did you like drama? It can be a mix of one or both. So if you liked drama, but you also liked maybe a film adaptation or a book adaptation of a play, you could kind of do a little conglomeration there and a little mixture of both. Your paper has to have something to do with literature. So if some of you are planning on recycling your English 121 papers, that's not going to work in this class. I've had students do it, and I tell them every time, I'm like, you're just recycling a paper from your last class. Nope. This has to be something original. So it has to be literature focused for starters. Step 2 is just probably the hardest part, is deciding what you want to focus on. These ideas I'm about to go over with you are ideas that I've had students do in the past very successfully. You do not have to do these ideas. They're just to give you kind of a brainstorming Kickstarter on what has worked in the past. So I have had students do basically an analysis of an author, a poet or a playwright. So kind of like a biography. They've taken, like, I've had several students when It chapters 1 and 2 came out, the movies came out, I had a lot of students wanting to do Stephen King. So I've seen people break down Stephen King, his writing style, his textography, his bibliography of texts, and then kind of how his craft or how his style has changed over time. And those have all been really good. I've had students write about poets. I've had students write about playwrights, about the history of a certain play. Phantom of the Opera, for example, or Hunchback of Notre Dame. Those texts have an extensive history that you can go into a lot of detail with. So those have all been successful papers if you want to analyze an author, a poet, a playwright, or a specific text that has been adapted over several times over a period of time. That's always a good choice. This second paper has honestly been one of my favorite student papers. The second example here, a controversy within a genre. So literature has a lot of controversy with it. We have Banned Book Month, where we talk about books that have been banned. We have literature that has had backlash, authors that have had backlash. There's recently been a huge backlash over J.K. Rowling. That could be a topic for a paper. That's a controversy within literature. That would be a really good topic. One of my favorite papers was one a student did a few years back about Harper Lee, and she's the author of To Kill a Mockingbird. And the controversy was Harper Lee was very elderly, and some family found a manuscript for a sequel to Kill a Mockingbird. And when the publishers and editors found out about this from various book companies, they tried to get Harper Lee to sell them the manuscript to publish it. And Harper Lee didn't want to originally because clearly this was an author's intent. They wrote a manuscript, they didn't like it in the end, and they didn't publish it. But because of the greed of these publishers, they basically peer pressured this elderly woman into selling her manuscript to them. And then she passed away, unfortunately, shortly after that, by the time they had published the book. And it's called Go Set a Watchman, is the sequel. I've had several of my friends that are big To Kill a Mockingbird fans tell me that I should not read it because it will change your opinion of some of the characters. And that's enough to make me go, no. But also because I kind of boycott that book because it was wrongfully published, and my student did a really good job of explaining how they basically forced this older woman who was suffering from some dementia and other mental handicaps to basically do something she didn't want to. And it was very exploitive. It was exploiting her, basically. So it was a really good paper. I had another student write about all of the live-action musical remakes, and they focused on Rocky Horror. Should it be remade? Why or why not? You can do a lot with this topic, and there's a lot of controversies on literature and with authors if you go and research it. So that could be a really good topic for your final paper. A research analysis. So is there a piece of fiction or a poem or a play that has been adapted into a different genre? So what changes between, when you adapt, what changes? Is it better or worse? I had a student write about Batman versus Superman, and they looked at the comic books, because comic books are a form of text. They looked at the original comic books that Batman versus Superman kind of drew from and compared that to the film adaptation. So that was a really good paper. I've had students do that with Lord of the Rings. I've had students do that with Phantom of the Opera. You can do that with a lot of different texts. And I think that could be a successful paper too. I hope that what you're seeing is that most of these topics are all topics that are specific but broad enough you can find a lot of research on, because that's kind of the point. This is a research paper, so I want your topic to be broad enough where you can find information about it, but specific enough where it's not too overgeneralized. And then, you can do an extended analysis of a certain poem, prose, or play. It just can't be something you've already written about. So if your paper 1 was a fiction analysis of a story in our textbook, you can't do this last paper on the same story. Has to be different somehow. But I have a lot of students choose to do this version as well. And then if you have some out of the box, and I put that in quotation marks, ideas, I'm always welcome to them. I've had several students opt to do another creative writing piece, and I'm fine with that. I've had students think that they want to do a video, and then when they realize how much time commitment it is, they're like, never mind. But if you have an out-of-the-box idea or a creative writing idea you want to do, I'm all for that. The main thing is making sure that you're doing equal amounts of research and work as your peers. That's the thing. But I'm definitely happy to work with you if it's something you're passionate about. So here's the nitty and gritty of this final paper. Step 3, no matter what topic or prompt that you choose, your essay must be 6 to 8 full pages. Full pages. That does not include your works cited. So 6 to 8 pages and then the works cited. Double-spaced, 12-point font. This paper used to be longer, but I've shortened it for the summer semester because I realize I'm giving you 3 weeks to write it. So 6 to 8 pages, and it has to have the following. It has to include an introduction paragraph where you explain your thesis and the goal of your paper as well as your points that you're planning to address. It has to have a section where you explain what it's about, offer background information, different things like that. And then it also has to have at least 3 terms or concepts from the chapters in our book. So at least 3 terms have to be somewhere within the text. If you do a creative writing option, your creative writing text needs to show that you're using those 3 terms. So there needs to be a specific style, or rounded characters, or there needs to be an antagonist and protagonist. It needs to show that those terms are in motion. But if you're doing a type of analysis, I want 3 terms or concepts from our textbook explained within the paper at some point. You don't have to label them. You don't have to tell me where they are. I just want to be able to read your paper and see that they're there. And you need at least 4 sources. This is a big one. And students do it every semester, and it drives me crazy. No Wikipedias. No about.coms. I will not count them as part of your 4 sources, and I will take off points. Please do not include them. Just 4 credible sources. And if you've not watched the MLA citation presentation and the video that I made, you need to do so. Absolutely. So this paper is an analysis. It should include your thoughts and a synthesis of your research and your own words. It should not just be a summary, not a book report. If you're doing an outside of the box assignment, you can talk with me about it. But I really want this to be kind of a culmination of everything you've learned in the class put into this paper. I want you guys to be proud of this paper too, because anytime you finish a class and you have like a little capstone project, it's cool to look back and see your writing and see how it's changed. I look back at some of my college writing and I'm like, man, I don't write like that now. So I want this to be something that you're proud of and something that is meaningful. So just make sure to do your best to create an analysis and not just a generalized summary. And then finally, you do need an MLA Works Cited page and in-text citations. If you're doing a creative writing piece, we will talk about this when you do your topic. I will basically have you make a Works Cited page and make up some in-text citations just so that I can see you know how to do the process. But we can talk about that if you're doing that type of final paper. So, due dates. This Sunday, I want to know what you're planning on doing and a rough outline. This is not set in stone. Your outline is not set in stone. You can change it. I just want to know that you at least have an outline, something to work from that will help you as you're writing this paper. And then what we're going to do is you won't get a chance to revise this paper. So instead, we're going to do a peer review, which is going to be July 24th is when the peer review draft will be due, and your reviews of at least 2 peer papers will be due by the 26th. So next week for week 7, we will talk about this. I'll talk about what the peer review is in the week 7 video. So if you're not sure, just know that your fellow classmates are probably going to be reading your paper if that helps you pick a topic. And then the final draft, please note this because this is very important. The final draft is due by Thursday, July 30th. Not Friday, not Sunday, but Thursday. Thursday, July 20th is the last day of our class. it is when finals end. Since we are having this class in the summer, we don't have class on Fridays in the summer, so everything is due Thursday, the 30th, in terms of your final paper. So just keep that due date in mind. And then as far as the grade goes, this is a breakdown of the grade. Since the paper is twice as long, there are twice as many points. Your intro and conclusion is worth 20 points. Page length and formatting is worth 20 points. Spelling and grammar, there's a big chunk dedicated to spelling and grammar. The works cited is its own separate grade now, and it is 40 points. 20 for the works cited page, 20 for your in-text citations. And then the actual paper itself, the content and the analysis, are 60 points as well. So it's 200 points. This is a big chunk of paper, a big chunk of your grade. So please make sure that if you have any questions leading up to our peer review or even after it, that you're letting me know, because I don't want you to miss out on these points. This could make and break a grade. So I want you all to do as well as possible on it. So those are our guidelines. They are in our syllabus, handouts, and video link. If you want to click on that, then you can scroll down. I'm going to click on it now to show you all. You can do that, and you can scroll down to week 6, and the paper guidelines are there. So that's pretty much it for this week. I hope you all have had a great weekend, and I hope you all, I'm excited to see what you choose for paper 4 for your topics. I'm excited to read paper 3. I hope you guys all have a great weekend, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Please note, I will be out of the office tomorrow. I will not be doing office hours on Monday, the 13th, and then I will be actually away from my computer on Friday of this week. So I'll be checking my stuff in the evenings, but just note that if you try to email me and it's an emergency, it may take me a little while to get back. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, though, should be pretty much normal. So I hope to hear from you guys soon. Take care, stay safe, and I'll talk to you guys at week 7. Have a great week, everybody. Bye.